What does it even mean to be a king of God these days? Just a man of God is enough, but a king of God, what does that mean? That means there's always going to be expectations of your behavior. Why? Because you don't want to look like everybody else. That's really it. You don't want to look like all the other people who say they are children or are not children of God, who are just looking like hypocrites. And then you got to ask what God are you serving that you move like that? So you got to look a certain way that is a recognizable mannerisms and demeanors. You look like a good dude. People want to rock with you. You look like you look like a crackhead. People don't want to rock with you, right? So to be a man of God is never something that's simple. While there is an underlying common denominator of dispositioning, it looks creatively different depending on how close you get to God. The closer you get to God, the more you start to realize the world is a canvas that we get to paint on as creators from our minds out into the world. We take what's in our imaginations and we capture it. And there are some of us who are so good at capturing it, who are so determined with that capture of the mind, we then bring it to manifestation by writing it down. Understand that's the first move in manifestation is to write it down. That's why writing it down is so important. So when you bring that when we go from there and you build on that, so now we have a new world that was in someone's mind brought into the real reality, the world in which we live in today. So as kings of God, those of us who manifest that imagination, the imaginary realm, that fantasy realm that is the heaven, those of us who bring that to life here on earth, you consider the kings of God. And you are praised in the kingdom because you brought something from the heavens into the earth. So as kings of God, as men of God, we recognize each other by the fruits. As the Bible says, the fruits that we bear. You recognize the tree by the fruits. You say, oh, this is a good tree. Why? Because look what it's dropping. Look what it's saying. Look what it's doing. Look how it's moving. And look at all the things that are attracted to it because it's moving, doing, dropping the way it's been moving, doing, and dropping. It's beautiful. That's good fruit. That's good tree. So as children of God, as long as you're putting out good fruits, people recognize you as a good tree. And they'll tune in. It's easy to lose yourself. I remember one time I saw some interview by Snoop Dogg, and Snoop Dogg was saying that he started at one point in time when he was making new music. A few years ago, it was this bippity boppity type rapping that is not his style, and he found himself in the room one time rapping, in that bippity boppity type rap style. He had to catch himself and be like, "Man, what the hell? What am I doing? This ain't me. I'm so used to hearing it on the radio. I'm losing myself to other people's frequency." So he had to turn off that frequency and got back to who Snoop Dogg was. Right? That is the power of the mind. That is the power of imagination. Somebody can take that and put it into a music and make that into a movement. And you got to be mindful that that can happen. That's happening to you, and you can have that happen to others, especially when it's a beautiful vision. Why wouldn't you take the time to bring it to life? Why wouldn't you take the time to bring it to life? I've been guilty so much of my life. And some things I brought to manifestation is just like you keep rolling off as coincidence. And then after a while, you're like, this is some hella coincidences, bro. I don't know about coincidence. It seems like this shit is happening, like I'm making it happen. Even manifesting women. Like women have told me they manifested me. And I'm like, huh, I could see that actually. Because when the vision aligns, it becomes easy. And so now either you're part of someone's dream or they're part of yours. Listen, you can be the dreamt. Those NPCs, I suggest you be the dreamer. Listen, I love you. I want you to win. I really do. I got to give you all of me. And that way you understand what healing actually looks like. It looks like having the balance, letting everybody speak who needs to speak within you, expressing yourself. And if all those expressions are healed and whole and loving and cared for, nourished, polished, they respect boundaries, right? Because that's your mind. You controlling your mind. Then there's no problem. Show the world who you are and go be great. I love you. Go win. I want you to win. Yo.